Good morning. This is Mike Houston with your Friday morning weather hazard briefing for Southeast Idaho. Looking at the key points during this forecast time frame, we have a frost freeze warning out for a portion of the Snake River Plain in eastern Magic Valley this morning. We expect unseasonably warm and dry conditions again this afternoon. And then it looks like we see a dry backdoor cold front spilling over the divide Saturday and Sunday. That'll bring us slightly cooler temperatures and locally breezy northeast winds to the region. We see a return to warm and dry daytime conditions early next week as the ridge redevelops across the region. And then towards the end of the week and working into next weekend, we're looking at change towards a more active weather pattern. Looking at our weather risk matrix, just showing minor impacts here associated with those locally breezy northeast winds behind that backdoor cold front Saturday and Sunday. Looking at the watches and warnings that we currently have out, we have a freeze warning up for the upper valley. And down here in the lower Snake River Plain and eastern Magic Valley, we have a frost advisory. Those are good till 9 a.m. this morning. Looking at the temperatures for those, we have low temperatures this morning will be in and around freezing up in the upper valley, and generally from 30 to 35 down here in the lower Snake River Plain and eastern Magic Valley. Looking at our storm track for today, showing the track here in these black lines with the high-pressure ridge positioned right along the northwest coast. The coloring scheme here is indicative of the moisture that we have. So reds are indicating little or no moisture, while the green colors indicate some clouds and precipitation out here into the Pacific. So along the coast, a ridge and dry conditions extending as far east as Idaho. As a result of that, we're expecting unseasonably warm conditions again today, with daytime highs generally running in the upper 60s to lower 70s in the Snake River Plain and eastern Magic Valley, and generally in the mid-60s to lower 70s in the Central Mountains and Southeast Highlands. Fairly dry minimum humidities today, generally running in the mid-teens to lower 20s across the region. As we advance the storm track to Saturday, we see the ridge still positioned along the coast, but we did have a weak disturbance diving south here into the Dakotas, and that brought a dry cold front right up into the divide region. We'll see cooler temperatures spilling over the passes into southeast Idaho, along with breezy northeast winds. And here's the depiction here in terms of wind gusts for Saturday. So like I said, northeast winds spreading down the Snake River Plain into the eastern Magic Valley, wind gusts of 20 to 25, and those conditions continuing into Sunday. Along with the breezy conditions, we are expecting slightly cooler temperatures. You'll notice the daytime highs here on Sunday, generally in the mid-60s to around 70 in the eastern Magic Valley, so maybe off a degree or two over what we experienced today. And then temperatures solidly in the 60s here in the Central Mountains, maybe peaking up near 70 in some of these mountain valley locations. Daytime minimum humidities up a tick with the cooler temperatures, generally upper teens to 20s across the region. Some areas in the mid-30s, but for the most part, teens and 20s. Advancing the storm track out to Monday, we see that ridge redeveloping across the northern Rockies, and as a result, we'll see increasing temperatures through the early part of next week, with daytime highs running back up near 70 or lower 70s here in the eastern Magic Valley, and mid-60s to mid-70s in the Central Mountains and Southeast Highlands, and minimum daytime humidities dropping back into the teens to lower 20s. And as I promised, by the time we get out to next weekend, that ridge breaks down completely as we see a pretty consolidated westerly flow and a storm track impinging on western Canada and the Pacific Northwest. This should bring us increased chance of precipitation as storm systems ride east along this storm track through the region. That's also reflected in our 8 to 14-day temperature outlook. We keep, with each passing day, we keep seeing the temperature outlook above normal area shifting further east, with near normal conditions beginning to work their way in across the Pacific Northwest, and also an increase in the chances of seeing above normal precipitation here within the Pacific Northwest. Okay, in summary, we have a frost freeze warning out till 9 a.m. this morning. Unseasonably warm and dry conditions again today. We see a backdoor cold front spilling over the divide Saturday and Sunday, which will bring us slightly cooler temperatures and locally breezy northeast winds to the region. A return to dry and warm conditions is expected early next week as a ridge redevelops across the region. And then by the time we get out to next weekend, we're looking at a change to a more active weather pattern and possibly some precipitation across the region. That's all I had for you this morning. If you had any comments or questions, you can reach out to us here either through email, the telephone, or online. Take care.